Hey everybody, I'm gonna briefly go over lesson 7B. As usual, I have included an example and notes in the margins for your use. This is again lesson 7B, the learn by watching. We're going to be using the TM to D process, which stands for topic, main idea, and detail. So you will find the topic first, then the main idea, then the detail. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this passage for you and you can follow along. Empathy, learning how to understand others. Being understood is an important part of being happy. People feel unhappy when they do not feel understood. For example, a child who longs to tell her parent an important story might feel sad when her parent is too busy to listen. A teacher can feel bad when he realizes his students are not listening. Similarly, a person who tells a friend something really important can feel disappointed if he realizes his friend is not listening. Sometimes people feel angry and argue just because they do not take the time to understand another person. So the topic is going to be found in a few words. It's usually one or two words that tells what the paragraph is about. So this paragraph is the importance of being understood. And specifically on your main idea is what the paragraph is mostly about. Sometimes the topic and main idea are the same. Sometimes the main idea is just a little bit more elaborate. So here, this whole paragraph was about how people feel unhappy when they don't feel understood. So we're going to go back and we're going to find details that support your main idea. So I went ahead and underlined some. It says people feel unhappy when they don't feel understood. Well, they gave an example and it says a child who longs to tell her parent an important story might feel sad when her parent is too busy to listen. That tells me that they're unhappy because of the keyword sad. So I underlined it, but in the details box, I'm going to put that in my own words. So a child may feel sad when a parent is too busy. Okay. The second detail said a teacher can feel bad when he realizes his students are not listening. Okay. And in my own words is that a teacher might feel bad when his students don't listen. And number 3, a person who tells a friend something really important can feel disappointed if he realizes his friend is not listening. So a friend might feel disappointed when he is not being listened to. Of course, there are other details in the paragraph that could fit in these boxes, but the reason I chose some of these were because they had some of the keywords that I was looking for. This one said a child may feel sad, and this one says a teacher can feel bad. And this part says right here, a person who tells a friend something really important can feel disappointed. So to me, all these were signs that somebody was unhappy, and I used those as my details, and of course I put them in my own words. So I did put that in the notes at the bottom. To paraphrase means to put these details in your own words. Okay, here's the specific information. So that was the example that I gave to all of you. I'm gonna go ahead and do the second page, which is the learn by sharing, and then I'm going to leave you to do the learn by practicing together. Okay, so we're on 7B, learn by sharing. And let's see. Okay, so I'm going to read it again. It says empathy, learning how to understand others. Luckily, empathy, which is the skill of understanding others, is something we can learn. A good place to start is by listening carefully to what others are saying. We have to fully understand what another is saying before we speak. We can also use our imagination. Whenever we try to understand other people, we need to imagine all that goes on in their lives. For example, a student trying to understand her teacher might think about all the preparations the teacher has to do to present a lesson. How the teacher feels if students do not listen, and what pressures the teacher faces. To understand others, we have to imagine what others might be experiencing. So using the TM to D process, we're going to find our topic first. And so I like to look at the title. It says empathy, learning how to understand. Okay, so basically I think the topic is about empathy, right? Empathy is how you feel about how others feel. Okay, and more importantly, we're gonna do our main idea, and this is what the paragraph is mostly about. Again, the title is a very good clue as to what the passage is going to be about. So it says I would say it says empathy, learning how to understand. So I could put maybe we can learn empathy as our main idea. We can learn empathy. Okay. And now I need 3 details that are going to support that. So one of the things that they mention is that, of course, it's something that we can learn. And the first one said a good place to start is by listening carefully to what others are saying. Okay, so I'm going to put that in my own words, or I could use the same one. We need to listen carefully to what others are saying. Okay, so another way that we can learn empathy says we can also we have to fully understand what another is saying before we speak. So, like, I would say that means to listen carefully, right? We need to understand what another is saying before we speak. Sorry. I want to go a little bit fast, but I also don't want to write it too sloppy to where you don't understand my handwriting. So just bear with me. And then a third detail that supports that we can learn empathy. It says we can use our imagination. We need to imagine all that goes on in their lives, right? We need to imagine all that goes on in their lives. Again, you can use other details from the paragraph as long as they support your main idea. But I just went ahead and chose these 3 in order. I underlined the detail and then I wrote it here in my own words. And then you'll be doing that for the learn by practicing. So hopefully this helps you at least get half of this assignment done. I'm going to go ahead and read this passage to you because I do know that some of you do struggle with some of the bigger vocabulary. So I'm going to go ahead and read it, but I'm going to leave it to you to fill in the topic, main idea, and details for 7B. Empathy, learning how to understand others, continued. As we get better at understanding others, we will lead happier and richer lives. Sensitive people who understand others have a lot more friends than insensitive people. Sensitive people are seen as trustworthy and sympathetic, and people like to be with them. Also, people who are open to others' experiences lead more meaningful lives because they have a deeper understanding of people in general. People who are understanding are respected and appreciated, and those traits often lead to success in life.